Hi, this is Chris from Nightfall Audiobooks, and I have for you Cat by R.L. Stine from the Fear Street line this week. This is towards the end of the Fear Street line. I remember buying this, but I can't figure out if I bought it on eBay or Ave Books or Amazon, and yeah, I did check my purchase history, and I can't find it anywhere. I remember it being kind of expensive. It was around $25. It's also very short. When I got it, I opened up the book and went to the back, and I'm like, why is it so skinny? Because it's around 132 pages. A normal Fear Street novel is between 150 and 180. Point Horror is around 200, 210, and so is, and Super Chillers are the same length as Point Horror. So this was kind of a surprise. This should read very, very fast. I don't see there being any real issues with this. I am expecting it to be a little dumbed down, sort of like a Goosebumps novel, because if it's so short, what was left on the cutting room floor? But we'll see. Do I have high hopes? Yeah, I always do, absolutely. We'll see what happens. So what do I read next? I don't know. Send me an email, nightfallaudiobooks@gmail.com. I am also on YouTube at Nightfall Audiobooks. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I love seeing what you have to say. I am also on Patreon, patreon.com/nightfallaudiobooks. Any help would be greatly appreciated. So tell your friends, tell your mom, tell whoever you think would like to listen to me tell them tales from R.L. Stine. Thank you very much for listening, and let's begin. Welcome to a Nightfall Audiobooks production of Cat by R.L. Stine, a Fear Street novel, Book 45. Prologue. I never liked cats, not even kittens. For one thing, I'm allergic to them. Put me in a room with a cat and I'll start to cough and sneeze, and my face will puff up like a marshmallow. Also, they're too evil looking. Why do they have to stare like that? What are they thinking about? Why do they slink around so silently, as if they have some kind of guilty secret? I know, I get carried away sometimes. Marty, take it easy. That's what my dad always says. Marty, don't blow a gasket. Marty, cool your jets. Dad has a million cute expressions like those. I admit he's right. Sometimes I forget myself. Sometimes I go too far. Sometimes I just lose it. I mean, that's part of being a teenager, isn't it? But I'm telling the truth when I say I never meant to kill that cat. That cat drove me crazy. It drove the whole basketball team crazy. Living under the gym bleachers like that, popping out when we were trying to practice, running right over our feet. Yeah, the cat drove us crazy. But I never meant to kill it. And believe me, I paid for that death. We all did. Chapter 1. On Tuesday, halfway through basketball practice, Coach Griffin lost his patience with me and the guys. Marty, what's your problem today? The coach barked. You and the other two stooges get off my court. See if you can figure out where your passing game went. The ceiling of the Shadyside High gym was nearly 30 feet high and lined with white and orange lights. Bleachers stood on either side of the court, what we call school side and street side. Double doors on one end led into the school. On the other end, the scoreboard hung above the door that led into the locker rooms. Barry, Dwayne, and I walked over to the school side bleachers. On the court, practice started up again. What's wrong with Coach? Barry asked. Somebody forget to tell him this is high school, not the NBA? Dwayne snorted. He heard rumors. He might be a nice guy. He wants to set us straight. I laughed. Dwayne Clark was the comedian in our group. He never took anything seriously. He and Barry Allen had been my best friends almost all my life. I'm serious, Barry grumbled. Maybe we're not playing our best, but Coach didn't have to bench us. I picked up a basketball from the bleachers and launched it at Barry's chest. He caught it easily. Barry bounced it to Dwayne. We tossed it back and forth for a while. Barry and Dwayne are physical opposites. Dwayne has blonde hair. He is a bit on the short side for a basketball player, and he could stand to lose a few pounds. Barry is tall, thin, and dark-haired. Some of the girls think he looks like the guy who plays Superman on television. Except for the glasses, I don't see it. When he's not playing, Barry wears black wire-rimmed glasses. As for personality, Barry is Dwayne's opposite there too. Barry is way too serious for his own good, and he gets angry pretty easily. Too easily. Barry's hot temper often lands him in trouble. The rest of the team thundered back and forth across the gym. I shot the ball to Dwayne and noticed Coach Griffin glance over at us. Relax, guys, I said. The coach is right. We're just not playing our best today. Maybe we need a few minutes of downtime. Friday's game is too important. Every game is important to you, Marty, Dwayne said. You have a basketball scholarship to worry about. Dwayne loved to give me a hard time about my college basketball scholarship. Getting the scholarship would make life a lot easier for me and my parents, and even though Dwayne's joking was good-natured, I thought he was a little jealous. Barry was another story. I knew Barry was jealous. Every game is important to the Shadyside Tigers, Dwayne, I snapped. The team is what matters to me. What a guy, Dwayne crowed. And he and Barry let out hyena laughs. If Dwayne and Barry are opposites, I am somewhere in the middle. Not too tall, not too short, not fat, not thin, light brown hair. That's me, Mr. Average, except when it comes to basketball. The three of us have played basketball in the circle at the end of my street since the 3rd grade. It showed. The Tigers were having their best year in a long time, mainly because of Dwayne, Barry, and me, especially because of me. Everybody said I was the star of the team. I tried not to get a swelled head, but it wasn't easy. We sat on the bleachers with Joe Gimmel, Kevin Hackett, and some of the other players. Kit Morrissey was up in the bleachers too. I was surprised to see her there. I didn't think I'd ever seen her at practice before. Hey Dwayne, I teased. Kit's up there watching you, buddy. Maybe you'll get a date for the prom after all. She already asked me, Marty, he bragged. I turned her down, of course. Don't want to ruin my reputation by being seen in public with her. Yeah, whatever, I said, waving away his lies. Most people thought Kit Morrissey was the best-looking girl at Shadyside, but I didn't know a single guy with the guts to ask her out. Dwayne would have a heart attack if Kit ever said hello to him. I watched the practice for a few minutes. Coach Griffin screamed at Larry Burns again. I picked up a small towel and wiped my face. Down the bench a bit, Kevin Hackett was fishing through a cooler. Anything left to drink, Hackett? I asked. Only Gatorade, he replied with a shrug. Hey, Barry whispered and nudged me. Check out who just came in. I turned to the double gym doors. Gail Edgerton and Ricky Crawford stood in front of them. Red-headed Gail scanned the gym. She spotted me. Then she tugged on Ricky's arm and walked toward us. Oh man, I sighed. I don't need this right now. You want to take off? Barry asked. I'll cover for you. No, man, I'm not running, I decided. I have no reason to hide. I haven't done anything wrong. Okay, it's your funeral, he murmured. Players on the court shouted and waved at Gail and Ricky as they walked along the sidelines. Kevin offered Gail a Gatorade, but she ignored him. Poor Kev, I thought. He'd been after Gail for 4 years. She barely ever smiled at the guy. Hi, guys, Gail chirped through a metal-filled smile. She is the only senior with braces. It doesn't seem to bother Gail. She never covers her mouth when she smiles or laughs. I think it's pretty cool of her to be so confident. Listen, Marty, Gail said, I'm doing a story on the Tigers for the school paper, and I want to interview you guys. You know, about the Three Musketeers nickname. Ricky is going to take pictures for the piece. Great, I thought. That was all I needed. Ricky and I had hung out a few times. Nothing major. A movie, a pizza, a trip to the mall. When I stopped calling her, she freaked out. She said if I wanted to break up with her, I should have told her so instead of blowing her off. I couldn't believe she made such a big deal of it. So you're going to make us stars, huh? Dwayne joked. About time. Ricky looked at me expectantly. Maybe she thought I would apologize, but I didn't have anything else to say. When Barry elbowed me, I felt instantly relieved. Marty, the cat, he cried, pointing. There it goes. Get it. Chapter 2. I turned and saw the cat shoot out from under the bleachers. The coach swore. Dave Ianello was going for a layup. The cat zipped across his path. Dave nearly tripped over the black and silver blur. He lost his grip on the ball, which bounced away. The cat made it safely to the other side of the gym. It ran along the bleachers on the far wall. Get it, Dwayne shouted. He took off. Don't, Gail protested. That's mean. Dwayne ran after the cat. It was under the basket near the double doors. When the cat saw Dwayne coming, it tore off down the sidelines. Barry and I ran across the court to cut it off. Coach yelled at us, but we knew he wasn't really angry. Chasing the cat had become almost a part of practice. It had turned into a game for us. But we never caught the cat. Somehow it always managed to get away. Coach said the cat was too fast for us. Whatever. You lucked out, Marty, Barry panted, running next to me. I think Ricky wanted to pick another fight with you. Yeah, I agreed. Saved by the cat. Get it, guys, Dave Ianello called as Barry and I ran past him. The coach shouted our names again. I turned and saw the smile on his face. I figured we wouldn't get in too much trouble. The other players stopped in the middle of the court to watch Dwayne chasing the cat, and Barry and me running to block its escape. Gail and Ricky cried out for us to leave the cat alone. I've got it on the run, Dwayne shouted, coming toward you guys. The cat scrambled away from Dwayne. It hadn't noticed Barry and me yet. When it did, it would probably slip under the bleachers as usual. As far as we could tell, it had been living under there for at least a month. I knew several kids who gave it food and water. The cheerleaders were crazy about it and called it dumb names like Puffy and Baby. Gail wrote a short piece for the school paper about the cat living in the gym. I remembered reading it and smiling at Gail's plea for someone to adopt it and give it a good home. In a weird way, the cat became the tiger's mascot. If it were striped, we might have made it official. But no such luck. The cat had silver-gray fur and a black spot on its head shaped like a diamond. We never really thought about what we would do if we caught the cat. The principal said an animal living in a gym presented a health hazard, so we would probably have called the Shadyside Animal Shelter. But catching the cat wasn't the point. The chase was everything. Here, kitty, kitty, Barry called. Here, kitty. Barry and I blocked the cat's path. It glared at us and hissed. I reached for the cat. It squeezed through the space under the bleachers and disappeared. Harper, Coach Griffin yelled. I spun around. I hoped he wasn't too angry. It relieved me to see that he still wore a smile on his face. If you're through goofing around, maybe you and the other stooges would like to play some basketball, the coach asked. Excellent, I replied. For the second half of practice, Coach always split the team in two and played us against one another. I passed Gail and Ricky as I jogged back onto the court. Stooges? Gail asked. I thought the coach called you guys the Three Musketeers. When he's happy with us, he does, I explained. When we're not playing so well, we're Mo, Larry, and Curly. I heard Gail laugh as I ran out onto the court. Barry played center. He batted the ball to me at the tip-off, and we were off down the court toward the basket. I passed Dwayne, and he hit Barry in the right corner. Barry faked a three-point attempt and shot it to me inside the key. I laid it up and in. We were back. As I ran toward the other side of the court, I noticed Ricky and Gail chatting on the sidelines. Were they talking about me? I hated the idea that Ricky might be telling Gail her side of the story, especially since Gail planned to write about me for the school paper. Barry stole the ball and shot it across the court at me. I almost missed the pass. Heads up, Harper, Coach Griffin shouted from the sidelines. As I ran down the court again, I glanced back at the girls. Ricky was pointing in my direction. I knew for sure they were talking about me. Marty, Barry shouted. Watch where you're... Whoa! I glanced down to see the silvery gray cat dart in front of me. Too late. My right foot caught the cat right under its belly. I tried to keep my balance, but I couldn't. I heard the cat's angry cry as I slammed into it, then tripped over it. I fell hard to the gym floor. Something crunched in my knee, and a burning pain shot through my leg. With a cry of pain, I collapsed to the floor. What have I done? I wondered. Chapter 3. Does this hurt? The school nurse asked. She used 3 fingers to apply pressure to my knee. I winced and ground my teeth together. Oh yeah, I groaned. Could you please not do that again? What do you think? Coach Griffin asked. I think that cat used up 8 of its 9 lives today, I growled. I was talking to Mrs. Nathanson, Marty, Coach Griffin snapped. I agree with you, Coach, Mrs. Nathanson sighed. It's probably only a sprain, but Marty needs to rest for a couple of days or he could do more damage. I'll give you an ace bandage, Marty, to help keep the swelling down. When Mrs. Nathanson had gone, Coach Griffin turned to me. That settles it, he announced. Harper, I'm sorry, but you're not playing in the game on Friday. Come on, I cried. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, man, Dwayne groaned. We're never going to win now. Those guys are going to eat us for breakfast. Coach, we need Marty, Barry pleaded. That stupid cat, I snarled. I'd better not see that animal again any time soon. Listen, Harper, Coach Griffin barked, stabbing a finger toward me. If you didn't terrorize that cat, this would never have happened. Oh, please, Coach, you know that isn't true, I groaned. We weren't even chasing the cat when I fell. It ran out onto the court and I tripped over it. The coach frowned at me. If you don't want to take responsibility for hurting your knee because you were horsing around, that's your business. But winning basketball games is my business, and you're a big part of our championship plans. So take care of yourself, Marty, Coach said. I nodded, too upset and angry to reply. The team began to shuffle off the court. The coach followed. Dwayne and Barry stayed with me. Gail and Ricky watched from the sidelines. When everyone else was gone, they joined us. Well, this is bad news, Dwayne commented. I'm going to wear my extra magical Hawaiian shirt on Friday. Dwayne had a wisecrack for every occasion and a bad Hawaiian shirt to go with it. This year, the team paid for a special game uniform to be made up for Dwayne. It was decorated with a really ugly Hawaiian print on it. Dwayne and Barry each grabbed an arm and helped me to stand. I tested my weight on the knee. "How is it, Marty?" Ricky asked. "It hurts," I snapped. "Well, it's not my fault," she cried. "Sorry," I mumbled. "I'm not angry at you guys. I'm angry at that stupid cat. Anyway, my knee hurts, but I can walk." "No way you're going to play on Friday, Marty," Barry observed. "Yeah," I agreed sadly, "but next week I'll definitely be ready, no matter what Coach says." "Yeah," Barry said, "you'd better be ready. Remember your scholarship." "I don't even know if I'll get the scholarship," I cried. No one said anything for what seemed to be a long time. "But," Dwayne began. "I thought you told me you already got the scholarship," Ricky said. "I did," I sputtered. "Sort of, but it hasn't been completely set up. There's one other guy being considered by the university." "How come you didn't tell us the truth?" Gail demanded. Then I remembered why Gail had come to the gym in the first place. "Gail, this isn't for the paper," I explained. "Between us, okay?" The last thing I wanted was for Gail to tell the whole school I claimed to have a scholarship I didn't actually have yet. "So spit it out, Harper," Barry urged. "Well, you know me," I started. "I guess I got carried away. I heard from the university that I'd made the next to last cut. I guess I jumped the gun." I sighed. I know it was stupid, but once I lied, I couldn't go back and tell the truth. It would be way too embarrassing. Nobody spoke for several seconds. Then Ricky smiled and punched my shoulder. "Don't worry about it, Marty," she said. "You'll get the scholarship. I'm sure of it." I knew Ricky was only trying to be nice, but I felt better anyway. "Thanks, Ricky," I replied. I turned to the others. "Let's get out of here, guys." "Ah!" I cried as I started to walk. "Wow, that hurts. I almost forgot about my stupid knee." "Be careful, man," Barry warned. "I don't think we can win the tournament without you." "I know you can't win without me," I joked. I limped toward the double gym doors with my friends. Then I saw it. The silvery gray creature stood by the doors. Even from that distance, I could see its green eyes glaring at me. "Brave animal," Ricky murmured. "Stupid animal," I snarled. "Get it, you guys." Chapter 4. "Not again," Gail cried. Barry and Dwayne ran after the cat at full speed. I limped along behind them, determined to have my revenge. The cat shrieked across the gym, a silver flash. This time, the cat did not run under the bleachers. Instead, it sped up the bleacher steps. Barry and Dwayne raced after it. As I limped up the first couple of bleacher steps, Barry and Dwayne cornered the cat at the top of the bleachers. The cat darted its head back and forth, seeking an escape route. I hurried up the steps, hating the cat more with every painful step. If it weren't for that cat, I would be in the game Friday night. "Hey, give it up," Gail called. "It's only a cat. Marty, come on. You weren't even watching where you were running." I ignored her. When I finished with the cat, it wouldn't be hanging around the gym anymore. It would have a nice home at the Shadyside Animal Shelter. "Here, kitty, kitty, kitty," Dwayne called. Pain shot through my knee as I stepped onto the top bleacher next to Dwayne. Barry stood at the edge, 2 steps down from where the cat crouched, trapped. We weren't going to let it get away. I moved another step and grimaced with the pain. Stumbling up the bleachers had made it worse. "This is all your fault, cat," I snapped. The cat arched its back and hissed at me. "Marty, leave the cat alone," Ricky called from the gym floor. "Please." I reached for the cat, grabbed it under its front legs, and lifted it. It hissed and squealed. The cat slashed razor-sharp claws across my hand, but I didn't let it go. The cat began to twist violently in my hands. Then its head dropped, and it sank its teeth into my forearm. Before I could cry out, the cat ripped its claws across my forehead. I stumbled backward toward the edge of the bleachers. Sharp pain tore through my arm and face. Blood dripped into my eyes. "Marty, watch out," Barry yelled. I tried to get my footing, but my bad knee buckled. I fell toward the edge of the bleachers. If I didn't grab hold of something, I would fall. Ricky screamed. "Marty," Dwayne cried. I whipped my head around, and there was Dwayne. I dropped the cat and reached out to grab his hand. Dwayne pulled me back to safety. I turned in time to see the cat fall. It tumbled end over end and struck the hardwood floor at an awkward angle. A sickening crack echoed through the gym. It didn't move. "I thought cats always landed on their feet," Barry muttered. "So did I replied. Then I heard Gail's angry shriek. You killed it." Chapter 5. Gail stared up at me. Her eyes were full of fury. "I can't believe you would be so cruel," she screamed. "Huh?" The gym spun in front of me. I sat down on one of the bleachers. "The cat," Ricky cried. "You threw the cat off the bleachers." The two girls stared at me, their faces white with shock. "No," I protested. "Come on, Ricky. Gail, I let go of the cat so it could grab hold of Dwayne." "You're a total jerk, Marty," Gail snapped. "You killed that poor cat." "Come on, Gail," I pleaded. "We didn't do it on purpose. You saw—" "I'll tell you what I saw," Gail cried. "You three morons chased that cat and threw it off the bleachers. You murdered a helpless animal, Marty. You're a... "Hey guys," Dwayne called from the gym floor. "How about some roadkill stew?" Barry laughed. Gail looked down at Dwayne, her lips pulled back in an expression of disgust, and I thought she was going to cry. Dwayne held the dead cat by its tail. Gail and Ricky each let out a horrified shriek. There were a few spots of blood on Dwayne's Hawaiian shirt, but he didn't seem to notice. "Come on, Gail," Barry groaned. "Who cares about the stupid cat? It didn't do anything but mess up basketball practice. No difference between a stray cat and a rat as far as I'm concerned." "You idiot," Gail sneered. "Rats are vermin. Cats are beautiful, sensitive creatures." "Well, I'm beautiful and sensitive," Dwayne announced, grinning. Gail's face reddened with fury. Ricky stood silently, shaking her head. "You've known me for 4 years," I reminded Gail. "Do you really think I'd kill a cat on purpose? Kill any animal? Come on." "I know what happened, Marty," Gail declared. "Don't try to tell me I didn't see it. I stood right here. I'm not stupid, you know." "I never said you were. But, Gail, you know how much I love Teddy. Killing the cat would have been like killing Teddy, my own dog. There's no way it would really hurt an animal." Dwayne held up the cat. "Hey, Gail, maybe you need a fur coat," he asked. He and Barry exploded in a fit of laughter. "That's it. I'm out of here," Gail cried. "Stop it, you guys," I yelled. I was really getting angry. "It isn't funny." I turned to Ricky. "Help me out here, Ricky," I pleaded. "You know, killing an animal isn't something I would do. Yeah, I got really angry. Yeah, I chased a cat. Yeah, I wanted to get rid of it, but not by killing it." Ricky ran a hand through her short-cropped blonde hair. "Ricky?" I pleaded. "I thought I knew you," she said quietly. "But I saw it too, Marty. Maybe you didn't do it on purpose. Maybe it was an accident, but it didn't look like an accident." "Oh, man, you're all nuts," I cried, and threw up my hands in surrender. I turned to Ricky again, but she wouldn't even meet my eyes. "Okay, fine," I sputtered. "Whatever. You and Gail say what you want. I'm leaving. I have to get off this knee so I can play basketball next week." "Go," Gail sneered. "What's stopping you?" "I don't believe this," I shouted. "The stupid cat makes me wreck my knee. Then I try to get it out of the gym, and it rips into my arm and my face. I'm bleeding here in case you didn't notice." I wiped blood from my forehead. Neither of the girls appeared at all sympathetic. "Hey, I'm sorry it died, but I didn't kill it," I insisted. Neither Gail nor Ricky spoke. "Cat got your tongue?" Barry asked them. "Shut up, Barry," I yelled. "You and Dwayne are acting like idiots. Why aren't you defending me?" Dwayne and Barry stood there silent. At least they weren't laughing anymore. "Well?" I urged. "Come on, Marty," Dwayne shrugged. "Who cares about a cat?" "Besides," Barry added, "we're your best friends. Who's going to believe us if we say you didn't kill the cat?" They were right. People would be more likely to believe Gail. After all, we were the Three Musketeers. That's what Gail had come to do a story about. Now the story had changed. "Gail, please," I began. "I'm through talking to you," she interrupted. "You're not the guy I thought you were, Marty. You won't get away with this." Gail glared at me coldly for a moment, then turned and stormed out, Ricky by her side. Dwayne and Barry hurried away. I watched them toss the dead cat into a trash can at the back of the gym. I felt a chill. I pictured Gail's cold stare again. So angry, so disgusted. Killing the cat was an accident. It was a terrible shame, I admitted. But really, what was Gail's problem? What was the big deal? Of course, that afternoon I had no idea just how upset Gail was. And I had no way of knowing that the stray cat was only the first death, that others would die before the school year was over.